Hey everyone, it's May 13th, about 6:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin, BTC, USD on the Bitfinex exchange. First of all, it's not investment advice. Second of all, we had the bubble phase, and then we had the series of lower highs and lower lows to accompany that. Basically, the equivalent of a bear market. Everything that is required for a bear market, we have undergone. So now what we've done is created a 6,000 low right here. Okay, we created a 6,400 or 6,425 on Bitfinex. It is. So we have higher lows. Okay. We have a higher high, another higher high. As long as this provides a higher low, then what we have is the beginning of a bull market. And a bull market that I've talked about in my prior videos that I do think could easily last until the end of the year, if not longer, right? So I know a lot of people like to get the pie in the sky figures, like 20,000, 50,000, 2 million, whatever the wild and crazy numbers are. But that's kind of fantasy land. First we have to take out 11,700 before we can even talk about any numbers higher than that. Everything beyond that is just like the equivalence of doing heavy narcotics and then thinking that you're coming up with a smart idea. So anyways, we have the uptrend line that price broke through, okay? So I talked about this major resistance line at about 91.77. Price broke below it, signifying selling pressure in the market. We broke through a major support zone that price oscillated around. And then basically, like I always like to say in these videos, that these charts just depict energy between buyers and sellers. So you have people entering the market, and the energy between them is dictated on these charts via candles, via bars, or whatever you're using, okay? So that's what we see here. These lines represent frequency, and when you start to see price oscillating around, there's obviously a significance to this price point, okay? Yes, the lines look simple. They look super simple, but they're extremely powerful when you pay attention to what they're trying to tell you, okay? Downward pressure. Broke above, came back, oscillated around, broke back under. It's a Dumbo line. Anybody can connect those tops, on this chart. It doesn't take a genius to do this, but you can see how price reacted once we finally got below a second time and stayed below. So now we're coming back to test the underside of the uptrend line, which is the uptrend line to this market. Now, we've had a pretty significant corrective move in this market, something I've been saying in my past videos that was going to be due. We've undergone that. What it does is it basically refreshes the sentiment in the market and allows buyers to sell in for profit opportunities, and also other retail traders to basically get beat out of their position, pushed to the sideline, thinking that price is going to continue downward into the sixes and much lower. But once price starts to kind of reverse and go back up, those individuals jump back in and chase price back up. So there's two scenarios here. First of all, price it will either get rejected in this area, maybe the 8,800, 8,900 on Bitfinex area. If we get rejected here and start to roll over, then price is going to make a lower low under this zone and maybe test the lower portion of this area, possibly in the 7,800 zone. And then if we break that, we're obviously going to head lower. Now, if price can break above 91.77, then we are going to get a second shot at breaking above the top up here, which is at 9,990. If we do bust above that, then guess what we have? A higher high and another higher low, therefore solidifying that we are entering into a bull market, and that every correction there forward should be a pretty good buying opportunity. Even though this is not investment advice, but basically in a bull market, all we need is a series of higher highs and higher lows, and it looks like we're getting that, right? I don't want to speak too early. We always have to anticipate both sides of the trade. I say that in all of my videos. If you can't anticipate both sides of the trade, you're basically walking across a busy street only looking one way and hoping that the other way does not have a car coming to hit you and basically put you out of your misery. So if you do not anticipate both sides of the trade, you are going to get caught off guard, and you get caught off guard, it could be brutal depending on how much money you have invested in the trade, okay? So I've provided both sides of the trade for you. Basically, if we break above 91.77, it's positive. Anything under 91.77, right? No matter how good this move looks, anything under this line is obviously negative. This line carries a lot of weight for a very basic, simplistic line. So I know I don't have a ton of indicators out here and everything looks super simple on my chart and it's almost too hard to believe, but go back through my prior videos if it is too hard for you to believe and pay attention to the numbers, write them down, and then focus on what happened thereafter, you know? So these areas hold a lot of energy to them, and the way price reacts to them will determine the future price movement. So that's why I can tell you if we get above this area, there's a high probability we're going to continue upward. If we stay under 91.77, there's a high probability we're going to continue downward and more than likely a stair-stepping pattern. And all this would be was just a relief rally to roll over and obviously continue down under. So anyways, now as long, like talking about the worst case scenario here, as long as price can hold above about the 68.50 zone, we are still adhering to the positive line slope, which is this green Dumbo line you see here, just connecting the two bottoms. And what this shows is the potential bull market slope, okay? It's very subtle, it's just a nice increase. I've talked about this in much earlier videos. You know, if you've been following along for a long time, I said this market would return to normalization. Normalization would then give us a nice subtle increase in slope. Then nice subtle increase in slope would bring integrity to the market, bring bigger money to the market, and we would see a nice subtle rise, like something we see in the stock market, something we see in the fiat markets, and etc. Okay, so that is what I'm looking for here. Now, visually, you can see how subtle that line, that slope is, especially when I take a line like this and put a horizontal line like so. Let me just make it pink so it really stands out for any of the new viewers. But you can see how subtle that increase is. Now, what this means is as we take this line, and I'll show you a little trick. Let me just clone this real quick. You know, if you've seen it, you've probably seen it on my prior videos if you watched yesterday's video. But basically, if we take this and put it about the same slope, right? That's pretty close to the same slope just for off the cuff. But what we can see here is a gigantic wedge forming. Now, what this tells you, as long as we maintain the green line structure, this price is going to take longer to resolve itself. And that is the essence of normalization after a bubble phase, and that is what we're undergoing. And what that's going to do is beat out a lot of people that are expecting this. There's a ton of people in this market that are expecting Lamborghini and yacht dreams, you know, within a month or two, because they saw this crazy action happen and they think it's going to happen all over again. Well, I have really bad news to tell you. There's a very low probability of this happening anytime soon, okay? If it does happen again, it would be something much later in the future. Now, and that's why I tell everybody that, you know, you can get hyped up by these articles, the videos. You know, you got guys like John McAfee who, you know, has like $1 million or a few $1 million invested. It's such a small amount of his real true net worth. If he honestly meant what he said, he should put 100% of his money in. When he's out there telling people that Bitcoin's going to be worth, I think $2 million was the latest projection. That is insanity. Now, obviously, he wiped his nose quite a few times in that interview, so we could only imagine what narcotics were entering his system. But fantasy land, right, where people are projecting these crazy figures, is just that, fantasy land. So if you want to talk about aliens and unicorns and whatever other wild crap we can talk about, we can start talking about those numbers. But if Bitcoin does not break above 11,700, everything above is complete fantasy. And hell, even lower than that, if we don't break above 9,990 on Bitfinex, you can kiss all those fantasy dreams goodbye. And that unicorn and Lamborghini and yachts and, you know, spaceships that go to the moon, or sorry, the sun at night, and submarines that have screen doors that can reach the bottom of the ocean in 3 seconds, all those dreams are going to disappear rather quickly. So just understand that. understand this market is going to take patience. This market is undergoing normalization, and people are going to get pissed off by me saying that, but that's the truth. You can hate it for as much as you want, but you're going to watch it unfold exactly how I'm telling you, because we can visually see what is happening to the energy of the market, right? And what you can see here, hang on real quick, right? So we can see that. Now look at the energy of this market. Look at this slope. Dumbo lines, right? Look at that slope right there. You see that one? And now look at this. We can visually see the energy of the market. So something as simplistic as this can really just tell you the overall picture of this market, the inflow of buyers into this market. And it's nice and subtle. You can visually see that when we look back on here and we see all the volatility and we see price kind of smoothing out, right? It's getting longer and longer in the move. So that's fine. We're just building a nice subtle increase to the market, which I believe will provide a nice solid foundation for a market that could literally be here, you know, for who knows how long. But anyways, it's just a nice solid foundation so far that we're building, as long as we hold the uptrend structure. Okay, so hopefully all that makes sense. I'm talking more macro picture on here. I know people get hyped up on all the videos and articles and stuff like that, but that's not the message behind my videos. I like to just keep everything realistic and down to earth. Okay, people want to get the hype on, and they want to get the subscribers and, you know, all that, and the views and etc. And they put those crazy figures, but that's all fantasy land. So anyways, that's it for tonight. I know I went off on a little tangent about fantasy land and stuff. I'm just trying to bring people's expectations down to where they should be. And if we do get a pop to the upside, hooray, you know, wonderful, great. But have your expectations in the right place so you're not beat out by having to wait for a move that you think is going to happen. Whether you think we're going to 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, 200 million, whatever the number is in your head that you think Bitcoin is going to go to in the future, understand it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of patience. It's not going to produce this move right here. Okay. So anyways, I hope everybody has a great night. I hope everybody had a great weekend as well, depending on where you are in the world. One thing I would suggest is that if you've not joined the free Slack channel, join that. That is absolutely free to join. Over 320 members, I think it is now. Everyone is cryptocurrency. The whole thing is cryptocurrency oriented. People share their analysis, charts, and news. It's a very friendly environment for people to converse with that are obviously focused on the exact same market we're talking about here. So you can learn more about, or you can find the link at geometriccharts.com. And at the bottom, I have my links to my social media accounts, and I have my link to my Slack channel account. Also, too, I would just say that I do offer a subscription service if you're interested in that. It's much more in-depth analysis than what I provide there in these YouTube videos. We go over, specific numbers, entry points, potential stop losses, giving that there is a trade opportunity. And I do upload those videos morning and night, and that's where a significant portion of my time goes to is my subscriber base. And I do cover not only Bitcoin, but Ethereum, Litecoin, EOS, NEO, stocks, commodities, and some of the Forex market as well too. So other than that, I hope everybody has a great day, great night, depending on where you are in the world. If you like the content, please like, subscribe, follow, and I'll talk to everybody tomorrow.